good afternoon, good evening. To pause amidst a continual barrage of fresh horrors is a radical act. We can stop the constant activity to honor the dead, the lost, the discarded, the starving, the deported, the endings. To defy the systems reliant on this violence and fear and greed. Let us pause and be confused, despairing, rageful, grieving, and perhaps still hopeful together. In these 15 minutes, I invite you to show up however you need to show up. Whatever you need to do to be comfortable, to be present to yourself, please do that. This is a time to just receive. Each day, we share a theme and a question following the alphabet. And here's some of the questions we've been asking. We want this to be a time that is a break from the grind, from the anxiety of our workplaces. We want this to be a practice that each day is grounding, regulating, and feasible amidst our busy day. We invite you to be present and to reconnect with yourself amidst everything, because that's how can be more connected to those around us and to the places and spaces we inhabit throughout the day. We do this because between us is where possibility lives. And as always, this is a practice offered at no cost, and I will share some links in the chat later as ways to support our work or to be in touch. Today's theme is soft skills. Now, I have a little annoyance with this term because I actually think soft skills are some of the most difficult, the hardest skills to develop, if you will. And I actually wrote this in a cover letter this last week that got me an interview. So I'm also um, hoping that the opening to soft skills and their importance is arriving. And this is at a grief center. I wrote, I want my work to invite the community to stay soft, curious, responsive, and loving amidst a grieving world. We spend so much time in the nonprofit sector and other sectors as well, making sure everyone has the right technical knowledge, the training. But when I talk about soft skills, I'm talking about relationship building. I'm talking about emotional intelligence, listening, um, facilitation and supervision are still in the realm of soft skills, leadership itself. Because I find that all of these things are assumed to already be in place. And it's a fatal mistake we keep making. Um, I don't know exactly what the solution is. I'm doing my part, but I do know that bad behavior, um, bad relationships, is a much more serious problem, and it's a real impediment to progress than some kind of functional log frame or perfect strategy. And I interviewed a Kenyan poet and community activist maybe it was 2 years ago now. His name is Onyango Otieno, and he summed this up so well for me. So I just want to read you this quote. You don't have any curricula that can teach you how to relate to others. The so-called soft skills are like basic needs. For the majority of the world, nobody really taught us these things. People coming from indigenous communities or Aboriginal societies were actually taught. They were sat down and taught, this is how you talk to people. This is how you ask. This is how you say thank you. Those types of instructions no longer exist. So for me, it's a multifaceted idea of designing culture, just sharing my values and energies in developing these things that I care most about, which are people. I love that. So, we're good at making the budget in Excel. We're good at creating reporting formats if you're a funder. Um, what hasn't been told to us is, oh, you've got to be really good at enabling dialogue that's meaningful. You have to be really good at sensing the room and unearthing the dynamics that are actually at play. When these are left to the realm of the soft skills, I also want to acknowledge that that label exists because they have been relegated to the feminine realm. This relationality is something that is supposedly attributed to my gender and therefore less important, therefore there's less compensation with it, therefore there's less attention to it, um, less resources invested. And we've also got this thing that is our educational privilege. Anything that like leads us to these high-minded conceptual ideas, like making a strategy, like writing a report, gets prioritized. And we're also seeing that the more privilege we have, the more we have been told and that we could trust and rely on systems, that those systems are made for us. And so the less you've had to rely on relationship and community. And so to me, these relationship building skills, these soft skills, these are community skills. I was part of an initiative for many years called Healing Solidarity. And we were starting to articulate what we thought was the skill set. When we talk about soft skills, what are we talking about? So I'm just going to read this list that we had come up with. It wasn't ever perfect. We didn't get it honed to ever a way that we felt confident in sharing it. But I think it was this thing that kind of undergirded what we were doing together as a global multiracial group. And I would love to keep thinking about this skill set because I think it holds so much promise. So as I read this list, I'll try to be slow and deliberate. Um, Please bring to mind those who taught you this, who shaped you to be able to do these skills, to offer these skills into the world, and just hold a little honor for them in your heart. And to think through, and the thing that I want to keep thinking about is how do we continue to teach people these ideas? So here it is. Invitation and permission, relationship and reciprocity, presence and witness, pace and patience, storytelling and sharing our lived experiences, freedom and self-determination, power with and power within, noticing and responding, discomfort and courage, trauma-informed and body-based practice, radical responsibility and repair, grief and release, appreciation and celebration, options and alternatives, unlearning and relearning, imperfection and discernment, generosity and sharing, trust and togetherness. The only way I know how to build these skills is to practice them. We have to build groups of people around us who are ready to build these skills. We have to think about what they look like in our teams. We're asked to listen. We're asked to listen to our own intuition right now. We're asked to gather people together. And these are some of the hardest skills to develop, not only because we haven't been taught, but because we have to put away our projections, our assumptions, to really be there for each other. So, as we build relationships with those who experience life differently than us, as we consider that as a fundamental skill, how do we keep asking for feedback, mirroring, guidance? How do we build relationships that allow people to reflect us to ourselves? And I do think that requires a structure so that people can find more room for that to happen. So, how do we learn to relate? We keep practicing. Thank you for being here today. As always, here are some ways that you can reach out to us and support us. And we are grateful for any contribution that comes our way to keep this experiment and this space going. And as always, we end with the Terma Collective. May our eyes remain open even in the face of tragedy. May we not become disheartened. May we find in the disillusion of our apathy and denial a cup of the broken heart. May we discover the gift of the fire burning in the inner chamber of our being, burning great and bright enough to transform any poison. May we offer the power of our sorrow to the service of something greater than ourselves. May our guilt not rise up to form yet another defensive wall. May the suffering purify and not paralyze us. May we endure. May sorrow and our soft skills bond us and not separate us. May we realize the greatness of our sorrow and not run from its touch or its flame. May clarity be our ally and wisdom our support. May our wrath be cleansing, cutting through the confusion of denial and greed. May we not be afraid to see or speak our truth. May the bleakness of the wasteland be dispelled. May the soul's journey be revealed and the true hunger fed. May we be forgiven for what we have forgotten and blessed with the remembrance of who we really are. Thank you for being here and take good care.